Hello, everyone. I'm Ann with Andale Homestead.
Hello, everyone. It is Casey over at Ormsby Farms.
And I'm Monica at Bland's Promised Land Ranch.
And this is Sandy at Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. So good evening, everybody. Gosh, it's been weeks. Because we pre-recorded.
We back.
With Christmas and the New Year. And so it's very exciting to be back live with all of our friends. And
it's like I can touch y'all pretty much instead of this video.
So welcome. Thank you for coming in. And would you say hi to everybody that's been coming in so far?
I would love to do that. Let's see who we have. I'm going to stroll up a little bit. Jersey Dolphins. Hey, darling. He's my buddy. Rebecca, thank you for being here. Another Rebecca, touched by yarn. We're always thrilled to have her in here with us. Lynette Lawrence. Hey, y'all. It all adds up, Lori. Thank you for being here, honey. We appreciate you so much. And everyone else that is coming in. Lone Cross Scotty. Hey, Jackie C. So glad to see you. Hey, hey, hey. Lone Cross Scotty. Howdy-ho, everybody. He said he was going to start himself a fire in the den right in the living room earlier today when we were talking fires. I said, don't do that. Don't do that. U.S. Freedom 5. Audio check. How do? I'm so glad you're here.
Well, it's exciting. You know, it's like we get to actually talk back and forth.
It's wonderful to be together again. Y'all, we have missed each other. Some kind of terrible because we do really genuinely care for one another. And Sandy, I think what we were talking about was being able to recoup what we've been up to for the past few weeks, what we maybe found that was interesting during our holidays. Maybe we started a new tradition, some things that are going on in our lives. And of course, we're all, Sandy lives in wintertime all the time, but the rest of us that are polar vortex, we're trying to get prepared for that. So, Monica, did you and your family do anything unusual, and or what was your favorite thing that you did this holiday season together as a family?
You know, we didn't do anything unusual. We kind of stuck with the normal program. We went to church together and kind of hung out together. It was the usual things, and that's where I like to be. I like to be in that like normal stuff, like usual. I don't like those little blips on the radar. I like it to stay like straight and narrow. Like I don't need those big hills and valleys. We don't need any of that. Just staying on what's normal. So no, I mean, it was just a regular season. Nobody, stabbed themselves like last season. Eric
was that your husband?
Yeah, Eric stabbed himself last Christmas Eve. We were in the ER. That was always fun. So we didn't have no big events this year, and I'm down for it. So no, we've just kind of been doing our thing, and it's been really nice. We do have some big plans though, and my boys started working on their bathroom upstairs. And so like this right here, all this behind me, this is all this like paneling so they can redo their shower upstairs in their tub area. So I have a 16-year-old, a 14-year-old, basically redoing an entire bathroom. So
Wow.
Eric and I, yeah, we became the
That's
financiers of this project over the Christmas break. And so yeah, they're really excited, and I think they've got everything they need to do it. So I'm excited to see them do it. So yeah, nothing unusual, normal things. It's good. It's all good here. What about you, Casey? Any new things happening for you?
Mm.
Well, besides moving whole entire life, as
Yeah, that would be a big new thing.
it is, I'm having to remind myself to give myself grace and to take a moment to stop and pray and get my mind back to the real world, because it's a lot. You don't think we talk about all the time. We talked about it on our podcast about people say, "Oh, I can't have a homestead because I'm only living in half of an acre. I'm only living in an apartment." And I would say, "Oh, no, you live in a homestead wherever." And then you have me. And it's like, how am I supposed to move my 9-acre homestead to 1 acre? I'm not going to be a homesteader. I'm going to be kicked off the podcast.
Not so.
But you have to give yourself grace. But that's what we've been dealing with is moving and packing.
Moving's a big deal. Moving's a big deal.
It is.
And we live on 1 acre. Sandy lives on what, a 1/4 acre, don't you?
A third of an acre.
A third of an acre. And we would certainly consider her a homesteader, wouldn't we? No. Glitter World is a member for a month. Thank you. Grateful for my land of plenty. I'm grateful for you too, sweetie. And she's in an apartment as well. SF, hello. We're so glad to have you here. You're in an apartment. And we can be homesteaders even though we live in an apartment, right?
Yeah.
And so, Sandy, this year you had a little different Christmas. You spent most of your Christmas for the last several years in Arizona, but this year you were in
We are still in Wyoming. We got to go over and see grandbabies. We haven't had a Christmas with them. We've tried Christmases in the summertime and different things, but an actual Christmas on Christmas Day, we had it in South Dakota. So it was great fun. It was very loud and noisy and fun. And we didn't actually stay for the supper because they were smoking a prime rib and it wasn't ready. And so we didn't actually eat supper. We ate snacks, but they didn't end up eating until 8:30.
Snacks are great.
So I was glad that we decided to leave at 6:00. But it was great fun.
I did take a breath there for a second when you said we left because they were smoking. And then you took
I was like, okay, mute time.
It was dramatic pause.
It was a perfect pause. It was great.
Well, first I was going to say brisket, but that wasn't the case. It was prime rib that they were smoking.
I see.
No, Sandy's trying to get us at Emmy Awards. That's what she's doing. She's getting the drama in here.
They were smoking.
They're entree. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
What I was thinking wouldn't even sound right either, smoking their meat. So anyway, Cynthia, we're so glad that you're here, honey. And Desert Goat, thank you for coming in. And they said, okay, now on a more serious question, can you enlarge the panel? I can barely see you, awesome four. And so Casey did. He put us a little bit larger.
There. Yay.
There
we
we
can see
go.
each other better.
Yeah.
Yeah, because especially if you're on your phone, you'd be little tiny people, little phone people.
So your Christmas this year being in Wyoming had to have been quite a bit different because I remember in Arizona in the past, you usually went with your park people.
Right. To the clubhouse. And I usually was cooking turkeys and hams and stuff for 60 to 80 people, depending on who was going to come that year. And I actually didn't have to fix food other than I brought cookies and snacks and things like that over there. So it was great fun. And we had planned on leaving for Arizona first on Sunday, this coming Sunday.
Oh,
But it's supposed to snow all weekend. So that's not happening. And so, so sometime next week, probably we will go.
Okay. Oh,
Can
well,
I
no,
just tell a funny story real fast while Sandy's talking about snowing? Because before we went live, me and Ann were talking. Monica was just about to jump in for our backstage kind of meeting that we have. And me and Ann were talking about the polar vortex that is hitting the eastern side of the United States, which is a very serious thing. And we were like, okay, no, Sandy, don't laugh at us as we're talking about it. Because in Georgia, like our highs are supposed to be like our low high, the lowest high, is that how you say it? It's 27. And Sandy's like, well, it's 17 here now. I was like, we're wimps in Georgia. So, but that's my funny story is Sandy's like, oh, these Southerners over here
that's right.
talking
That's
about it's 36. We're all dying.
yeah. If it hit 17 and our area of North Carolina was sharing with them, we roll up sidewalks. Yeah, we roll up sidewalks. Everybody stays inside. Everything closes except the grocery store. No post office, no court dates, no nothing. You might get a hamburger, but probably not. And everybody goes inside. And then we go to the overpasses and try to get on cardboard boxes and slide down in the ice into the traffic. Have a good time. Visit the emergency room occasionally.
Well, we used to get a lot. We didn't get a lot of snow, but when I was in Maryland, we got our fair share of snow. I mean, we would have some seasons where we have a ton of snow, and then we'd have like dry spells where we wouldn't get any snow, but maybe a few inches. But it was we got a little bit every year. Well, here in Texas, we don't get hardly nothing, and then we get like a little dusting. And these people, my children is what I'm talking about. These people and my sister have been just chomping at the bit. And my sister called me yesterday like 3 times. She's like, I'm calling you again. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? She's like, I'm just so excited. They're saying maybe like 8 inches or more. And I'm like, girl, the wind is going to blow one extra little like degree. And all of a sudden it's going to be nothing but rain. So calm. It's okay. Be calm. And so in the meantime, though, I'm on Amazon like, I need to make sure these people have gloves and we need to have a sled.
Well, we all did because Ann Dale put out her how to prepare for a polar vortex video. And it popped up as I was doing computer work. And I was like, I have to stop what I'm doing immediately.
Yeah. Yes,
Dale's video, and then ordered 4 of the things that Ann Dale talked about that I really probably didn't need as I'm moving. But I was
you
like,
might.
I may. We may get 4 inches of snow, Monica, which in Georgia is like 40.
Well, let me just tell you, our local weather guy last night, he was talking some serious business. He was explaining to the people on the panel, like his other, cohorts there. He was like, do you know when the last time North Texas, the Dallas DFW metro area, we got significant snow was in 2010. And then he went on to talk about how some places got upwards of 15 inches up here in North Texas. And I was like, what? And then he's like, at this point, we could be looking at a very similar setup. And so these people are like pooping their pants. They're not happy. They're like, oh no. My kids are like,
yes.
And they're like, and I'm like, shooey, I'm glad I ordered them little stupid sleds that them kids wanted. And I'm glad I can make sure they have some like face scarves and all the stuff. And then this morning, my sister calls me. She's like, yeah, they're saying maybe 2 or 3 inches now. And I'm like,
can I just say that it's so cute that Monica's kids are excited about a snow day being homeschooled? Just saying.
We were outside making ice weapons today, though. Not even kidding you. The one child walked in. He was like, Mom, I've made this shard of ice. This big, it's a thick piece of ice from one of the like many puddles that are in our yard. He's like, I made this into an ice axe. And I'm like, please take your ice axe outside. I do not hurt anyone with that ice axe. He's like, we're chopping wood. And I'm like, okay. Go.
Meanwhile, Sandy.
Let me tell you what the front page of our paper was today, right? Okay, so right now it's 17 degrees. We have 4 inches of new snow. It's snowed a little bit today, but, not. It was just great big snowflakes, right? It was nothing. The front page of our paper today says, warmest winter in one of Gillette's histories.
And you have how many inches of snow?
And I've seen all this stuff on the news, vortex, and it's like, whatever. But I have to remember, a lot of places don't have plows. We have plows. We have winter stuff because we have snow. We just have, everybody has it. It's not some people have it. Everyone has it because it gets cold here.
Right.
So I have to remember, it's a whole different world in different parts of the United States.
That's right. It would be as if you got 14 inches of snow at your home in Arizona.
Right.
Those people would be freaking out because our shovels are spades for the garden. We don't have snow shovels. And we certainly don't have any kind of infrastructure equipment to go around and go out and about. We got the big old pickup trucks that'll come get you out of the ditch when you run into it, but that's about it. So, yeah.
We brought our snow shovels from Maryland and they turned into quickly manure shovels.
Oh, yeah.
So I was telling the boys today, I'm like, we might have to get those snow shovels out of the barn and use them for actual snow or ice.
Right. So the budget prepper says, wait till North Carolina gets snow. They shut down everything. I remember they shut down Fort Bragg for like some flurries and closed Walmart. And I'm from Ohio and laughed so hard. That's exactly right, budget prepper. I'm in North Carolina. We roll up the sidewalks, baby. I mean, that's playtime unless you're me and stay inside the house. Paul Case Farm says, hey there, what are y'all doing? Paul Case is hilarious.
Everything does close down in Georgia. Even the biggest thing is Chick-fil-A closes down. And everybody, the funny thing is we all say that you get the hankering for Chick-fil-A on Sundays. Like when you're in church, you're like, oh, I'd really like a Chick-fil-A sandwich, but it's closed. Right when everything shuts down for the snow, that's when everybody has a hankering for like a spicy chicken sandwich.
There you
go. We just got 4 inches. I think we should have some coleslaw and spicy chicken sandwich. But right. Chick-fil-A is closed. So
I mean, when you're talking about going to the grocery store and buying milk and bread and things like that, we all make sure we have a can of sweetened condensed milk so that you can make your snow cream. Mm-hmm. That's what we do, is being able to do. You had me spicy tonight, Paul Case Farms. That's right. And Lone Cross Sky says, I bought some ice melted for this storm. They say we can get the ice and all. I bought a type that is pet and environmentally friendly and was expensive, but to me, it's worth it. You know what, Scotty? I have some of that in my Amazon cart because I watched a guy make homemade hand warmers with that stuff.
What?
I was like, yeah, I'm going to be doing that. Snow cream. That's right. Snow cream. They tell you not to eat the first snowfall that comes down, but we only have one. So try to get it off the roof of your car or something to be able to get something that an animal hasn't been on. And
I was about to say, just don't eat the yellow snow is what they say.
Eat the yellow snow. Yeah, we get the snow. You put your plastic bowl out there on top of your cars for as soon as you see the first snowflake. Mm-hmm. Then you have your sweetened condensed milk and a little bit of vanilla, and it's delicious snow cream.
Now, do you do that, Sandy?
I never heard of that before.
Snow cream? You've never made snow cream?
Never made snow cream? Oh, it is good.
I never heard of it.
I can't believe it. We found something that Sandy didn't know of. That is crazy.
I bet I can try it because I have all those ingredients.
You have plenty of snow.
You'll have to look it up. Goggle it. Goggle
it. And then you can post it in one of your videos of how you learned something new this year about snow cream.
Yeah, it's January and I'm already learning.
It is snow and sweetened condensed milk and some vanilla. And some people add an egg, which, you're not supposed to eat raw eggs, but we do anyway. And you stir it up really, really good. And then it's like a slushy, but it's just so yummy.
It's really yummy, yeah.
It's really good.
And with Sandy learning new things, I have to call her out on the live and say, okay, Sandy, tell me, how did you really like your 4-jar lids?
Oh, I love them.
Aren't they good?
You know, I bought them on Amazon because the shipping, I would get free shipping. And on their site, the shipping, because I was only getting a double box, you know, they wanted $13 for the shipping. And I wanted to buy it from the company, but I did it a roundabout. I mean, they're still getting the money
Same
for it.
product. Yeah.
But all of the things I have canned so far, perfect. When I, because I've already started eating some of the apple peach sauce. I popped it off. The lid just popped off perfect. And that rim around there is.
Isn't that awesome?
So good.
Perfect. It's, like sometimes after you've processed, you pull it off in that red seal in there is kind of wonky and you're going, yeah, I can't use that again, because I use my lids a lot of times. Some people say you shouldn't do that, but if it seals itself, what difference does that make? Right.
That's right.
But I totally love them. I did link 4 jars. I haven't done anything on Instagram, but I figured I'd put a little short with it. But I
all right, 4 jars. You're hearing from me, one of your affiliates, which I do have to say publicly because they do watch our lives. Thank you. They sent all of us affiliates a really big Christmas gift, and it's like this light up thing that says Ormsby Farm affiliate with 4 jars. And
you guys all got
Ginger from Nothing got one of those.
Yes,
it was so cool.
So cool.
Oh,
I am going to do a video on it, I promise, after I move. But 4 jars, it's time to reel Sandy in. Like,
I ordered some too. So
because I mean, in a year's time, the amount of lids I use is really astronomical.
Yeah.
Seriously. And I have tried all kinds of lids, and every single one of the 4 jars worked, where that's not the case with any of the other ones I've ever tried. So
those 4 jars, don't eat the icicles that come off of your roof, because
bad idea.
Poison in them, maybe. Yeah, that's right. No, well, and Cindy, we're so glad to have you here. Brr, she's in New Jersey. Yeah.
She's probably got quite a bit of snow.
Yes, they're getting there right now.
It's supposed to be even worse this weekend. I am here in southern eastern North Carolina until Sunday, and so I was concerned about the weather. And when I came, I told my daughter, my son-in-law was in the background. He had me on speakerphone, and I said, it looks like your mama's moving in, honey, because I'm bringing some preparedness things with me. I don't know what you have in your house, but a couple of things I do know. I want you to plug in this and plug in that and charge in this and charge up that, so that when I get there, it's ready to go. And so that's what we did. And
what's your favorite of your plug-in stuff that you talked about on your video? Now, people need to go and watch your video, but what is your favorite of those that you talked about? Like, what is the one thing that you
There's
have?
2. There's the first one, honestly, and I brought it with me, actually. It's in the other room, or I would have been able to show it to you. It's called a Red Cross charger. It's from the American Red Cross, but it winds up. And so you never have to worry about batteries, never have to worry about whether it's charged or not. It can sit in your closet for 3 years, and you pull it out, wind it up, and it's good as new. I mean, that's something you don't have to prepare for. That is one of my favorite things. And so far, it has one of those, everybody does have, what is the cord called, Sarah, that you plug in? It's the end of the course. USB. Thank you. It's USB, and my daughter's sitting on the other side of the table with me. And so it's a USB plug that you can plug into these wind-up chargers. That's one thing. Yeah, it'll make you spend some money. Check it out. It's not expensive. I mean, the one I have was like $9 or something.
Now, and is it the same thing as those radios that you have to crank up? It's kind of the same kind of premise, right?
And they do have the same thing. This one has a flashlight and it has a charger. Excuse me. They have the same thing in a radio and a flashlight and a charger. It's this, but it's a little bit more expensive, closer to the $20 range when you get a radio with it, which I think is super cool too. But I do have a little battery AM FM radio, so I just didn't go for it. And the second thing that I have is a power bank. I mean, we have the big generators. Yes, I have a big, almost whole home solar generator with the solar panels. That's fabulous in case of long-term outage. I have a gas generator that can run most of the house. And we had an electrician come and install an outside plug-in so that you don't have to run extension cords all over the place, that kind of thing. But the most convenient thing that we have used, really, honestly, when it's only going to be going out for a few hours, I'm celebrity. I don't know about that.
It's true.
But
I saw it.
Me too.
The most convenient thing that I use, yeah, you can move in. It's a power bank, and it stands about the size of a coffee maker, maybe. It's about 20 pounds, so you can still pick it up and lift it all around. And those things, it can be solar charged. You can charge it in the wall, or you can charge it in your car. And it's so convenient. So you don't need all those extra charges and all those extra plugs and things. Whatever you have at the time that's a current plug, you can plug into those battery packs, those power banks. So those are my two favorites.
Sandy, Monica, do you have favorites of the preparedness, kind of like keeping your stuff charged? Most of my stuff that I have is actually from Andale Homestead. So, I mean, it'd be boring for me to say it's the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm looking at that, the 500 watt portable power bank that she was just talking about, and it's literally $399, but you can have $100 coupon when you order it now on Amazon. I'm like, $299.
It's so worth it.
I'm like $100. I didn't even want it until I saw that you could get $100 off, and now I'm like, well, I gotta get it.
No, let me tell you, we did a solar power like bank, but generator. Because in the state of Georgia, to sell meat, you have to have what is called like the meat license, and you have to have it in a freezer, and it has to be USDA approved, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of farmers markets don't have plugins. They don't have electricity hookup.
Oh,
we looked into the generators that Miss Ann talked about.
Nice.
And it's not the one that you did the TV show with. But it was a solar paneled one that you had talked about. It's a smaller kind of like bank. When I tell you, it's probably a 5 cubic foot freezer. If you completely charge it solar, like get to 100%, for the 3 hours I'm at the farmer's market, that freezer stays frozen and charged the entire time. Wow. And you're paying for this much electricity.
Zero. Yeah. It's all from the sun.
Yeah.
So, it is. It's very nice. I drive around with that power bank in the trunk of my car all the time.
Really?
Because you can also charge it up in your car. I mean, when this storm came through, I had it in the trunk of my car probably 3 months. Ever since Helene had come through, I had it in the trunk of my car because when we were doing our volunteer work, so many people there needed to charge their cell phones. So, and we were outside a lot of the time. So I pulled that power bank out and everybody charged their cell phones up on it. Well, I haven't charged it since then. You have a radio that has a flashlight, alarm clock, weather alert when it's plugged in for cell or smartphone. That's perfect, Linda.
Me too, Linda. Me too.
And so I pulled it back in the house recently, just a couple of days ago, to make sure that it was charged up again for this polar vortex that's coming through. And it was still at like 98%, even though it had been in the car for 3 months. So, I'm tickled to death with that thing. I drive with it everywhere because I don't want to get caught on the highway somewhere in an ice storm for 24 hours and have nothing.
That's really amazing. I mean, that's really good to know that you can have something like that, especially because, just looking at it too, I pulled it up on my screen so I could see, just like kind of save it for later to look at. But, something like that, you can charge many people's at once, especially if you're like I am, where you have many people and you need to charge up stuff. It's nice to be able to know that you can charge a kid's tablet and a cell phone. And, if you need to charge some of those lights, because we always keep a lot of those like battery lights, those things you can just recharge, because we're always putting animals away in the dark or going to look for something at the dark. So, yeah.
The solar charger is Opus, Oupes, Opus Company. And they also have a Jackery. They have a number of things. This particular one that I have was sent to me by the company called EBL. And I have it tagged on my video where I've got a whole bunch of cords sticking up. This is, are you ready? It looks like I'm a crazy woman in between all these cords. You look at that.
I put the link in everybody's page. So if you just scroll up a little bit, you'll see it says check out Anne's video here. It's the one with all those options that she just did a couple days ago.
It's called EBL, and EBL is very reasonable, but it's also been a great addition to our preps. I can tell you, it's been wonderful. So, anybody else? Casey, do you have a favorite one?
Well, I think everything that you talk about, because most of the time I end up buying whatever you were pitching on your video. But I do have to say, because, I think sometimes we can get people that watch our videos, and when we're promoting a certain item, they're like, oh, they're only promoting it because they get a cut or this or this. Now, listen, generators and stuff and the battery banks do cost money. They do. But you're investing in something that you will have long term. This is not something that you're going to pay $300-$400 and you have to replace it in 2 to 3 years.
Right.
Especially a solar panel one. So sometimes you have to spend money.
Yeah, you do.
To have what you want. That's not really a saying, but I just made it up right now.
Well, it is. I mean, I tried really hard in my Be Ready series to do things in survival mode of stuff that you might have around the house. But there are times you can't buy everything all at one time. I mean, my goodness, this has been years of trying to gather these supplies. But these are things that you might genuinely have around your home. So, Sandy, we know you're the prepared young lady, that you have lots of food and lots of ways of cooking and things and stuff like that. Do you have something that might be favorite for you?
Well, we do have the wind-up one. We have a wind-up that's a flashlight that size. Then we have a bigger one that's a wind-up.
Oh, okay, good.
We have a solar panel that rolls out flat. It's like really thin. You can just roll it up. You can put it in a backpack.
Yeah.
We have a regular solar panel that's probably 2 feet by 4 feet. And it wheels out and you hook it up to a generator thing. We have a regular generator that's a gas powered one. In our truck, it must have 4 or 5 UBC and things that you can put your phone into, phone jacks, and so that's okay too. So wherever we are, you can always you can just plug it in. It'll actually charge without the truck being on.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Very much energy. So it can, if I had to have my phone, Well,
yeah.
Did you know that even if you don't have cell service, say you're up in the mountains and you don't have cell service, you can literally dial 911 and it will still go through.
Yes.
It bounces off. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, because in the movies, they're walking around. I don't have any service. But in real life, you can still just do 911 and it will bounce off. I don't know if it's satellites or what it will do, but you can be safe, like if you got stuck in the snow.
Now, there is something that is really interesting to me that I really want to get there, and I haven't gotten it yet because they're kind of really pricey. but it's just a little thing that feeds off of satellites. And in Western North Carolina, when so many people were out of cell service and family from everywhere were trying to get in touch with their family, and they didn't know sometimes for weeks if they were even alive because they couldn't get anywhere to. Now, the two-way radios worked very well for people to be able to get word out from town to town, because at the time they didn't know if it was just their area or if it was all over, if it was widespread. But there's it's like a Garmin, Starlink, yes, but it's like a Garmin item thing, and it doesn't do anything but text, but you don't have to have cell service. It bounces off of satellites. So if you're in the Amazon, you can still text off of this little thing. You can still get in touch with your family to let them know that you're safe and that you're okay. And I want one for each of my children and my husband and myself. I want one so that we can stay in touch, just to let each other know where we are or what is going on in case of an emergency.
Well, we talk about that stuff too, of being in touch and cell phone service and everything. And a lot of people, I know I've gotten this on Instagram, is that, oh, homesteaders, y'all are supposed to promote this lifestyle of, listen, we can live as much as we can as they did back in the 1800s, 1700s. But let's be for real. And thanks to Miss Lynette, who is hyping me up for saying that, so I can get on my soapbox. Our life now, our life as humans revolves around being in contact with family via cell phone, internet, social media, something.
Communication.
Now, you can limit what you have in your life with that, but I don't see ever where you can truly cut it 100% completely out and still live the normal life that you are accustomed to. So having these things that Anne's talking about, the small little, I'm gonna have to do research on that because I may need that.
There we go. That's
Monica
it.
found it.
That's it. You can text on it. Monica, you're muted, honey.
It's called the Garmin InReach Mini 2.
Send one to all four of us.
Yeah, I'll send you a little link so you can see it. But I mean, it's like $300. There's no coupon for this one, but I mean, if you think about, though, like Bowen said, sometimes you have to place your safety, over the financial thing, and this is like an investment, right? I mean, this is something that if my kids were going to go be off grid somewhere, I'd rather them have something like this to communicate, knowing that it's going to reach and get to, so that at least if they needed help, they could. If I had hikers in the family, they'd be having one of these 100%. They'd be hiking their little booties up in the mountains with this. And
it's just text, from what I understand.
Yeah, it looks like a satellite communication. It actually will track you. So if you needed to, you can track that route. It has a navigation thing. And yeah, it's just text and basically navigation. So if you needed to navigate to your next destination, it kind of shows people where you're at. So they come to the body.
I mean, in Western North Carolina, there were people that were not heard of for a week and a half, and private helicopters, little private helicopters, were coming and flying into their homes just so that their family would know that they're alive. And they were fine and feeding the neighborhood, most of them. But, you don't know. And so I thought that's a really cool thing to have. And I would really like to have that for my family.
And really, as a homesteader, you get to choose. Seriously, if you want to live like in the 1800s, you go, girl.
Yeah, absolutely.
But do not tell another homesteader that they can't have a cell phone, they can't have a computer. Exactly. You're not really a homesteader if you have that stuff. That is not true.
Right.
That's you putting your stuff onto them to make you feel better.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because honestly, we live in an amazing world that we get to do so many things. And if you can pull that technology in to make your homestead more efficient, make your work faster. Like, who wants to go back to washing their clothes instead of using a wash machine?
Not
I
me.
Rocks
wanna
in
do
a
that.
stream. I don't.
Not I, said the fly.
So I think we have to give each other and ourselves grace
Mhm.
that
Right.
these are the things that make our family work. You know,
That's right.
having these things, it's not right or wrong either way. If you want to live with no cell phone, no computer, no tractor, whatever you want to do, that's okay.
Absolutely.
You know, but I hear comments sometimes of people that are a purist, more of a purist.
Yeah.
But if you want to be a purist, don't be on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because sometime your video,
No.
I mean, seriously, be real.
And listen,
know?
we think these women and these homesteaders back in the 1800s, strong people. They were able to do what they could do with the limited resources they had. But
Mhm.
let me tell you, I know from working with these three women right here that these are three strong women homesteaders too, using what they have
Mhm.
nowadays society to
Good
make
for
their
you,
homestead
Paul.
go. It doesn't make them less strong of a homesteader because
Mhm.
they're not living like Laura Ingalls Wilder.
Right.
That's
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah.
Hey,
So
look, girl, we want to do it the smart way, the easy way.
Yeah,
the
work
easy
smarter, not harder. You don't need to be wearing yourself out so you can't give to anybody
I'd
else.
go back to the clothes though. I'd go back to the clothes.
way. Thunderstick Homestead says, "Hey, I'm an Indian. You don't see me living in a teepee like an off grid. I love
I
it.
like the grid.
I like the grid." And Linda Peterson chased that storm in Asheville, North Carolina. Bless your heart. Oh my goodness, you were in Asheville from Illinois.
Wow.
That was some kind of something. And
Yeah.
Paul Case Barbs, he's the funniest thing. I love him to tell a story because Paul Case says, "I'm not a homesteader, but I like the community. So we'll hang out here. Might learn a thing or two." That's right.
Awesome.
I
Yep.
love him. He tells a story on people's lives, and then he says the punchline and goes down right off stage. Nobody can say anything. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Always go out on a high note. That's what you got to do. Always
That's
go out on a high note.
That's right. And speaking of that, we have been way over our time. We're usually the 30-minute crowd, and we've been here over 42 minutes, y'all. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We really appreciate it. And we have enjoyed being able to speak with you. Our podcast usually take a siesta as far as the podcast. We will begin again soon with the podcast themselves, but we'll be here on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock to talk about hey, y'all, hey, and round the hay bale. So good night. Good night, everyone. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to Round the Hay Bale. I'll say it real slow. Round the Hay Bale, because when we get to 500 subscribers over there, we're going to have a big old giveaway. Love you too, Bob. Really do. Thank you. Robin Hood Homestead, Bob Bland in Minnesota. Everybody stay safe in this storm. We love you and thank you so much for being here. So bye, y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey Monica, did you know it's now even easier to listen to Around the Hay Bale podcast?
What? Really? How easy?
That's right. All you have to do is say, "Alexa, play Round the Hay Bale podcast."
Playing Round the Hay Bale podcast on Apple Music.
Ooh, we're really fancy now.
Tune in to Round the Hay Bale every Monday at 9 a.m. Central Time.